Steelers, consider others before you consider yourself. To protect your brother, even from himself. To give support at your own expense. And when wearing the black and gold suit of armor, make sure nobody desecrates it, disrespects it. Most importantly, we ourselves don't dishonor it. From previous legends who have donned the black and gold. These virtues I learned while playing for the Steelers are what make the legacy of the black and gold timeless. They are passed down in the locker room from the steel curtain to anyone who valiantly wears the black and gold. Creating a brotherhood that is deeper than money, business, and winning. To be a Steeler is to consider others before you consider yourself. This is our culture, Steeler culture. Now, here are your hosts, Rob and Dan, the Steel Twins.
This video is brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino.
SteelTwins Nation, what is going on? How are you guys doing on this Wednesday night? This late Wednesday night. We're midweek, man. We are 2 short nights away from actually watching Steelers football. We're inching closer and closer to Steelers football. It's preseason, but who gives a crap? We're 2 nights away, ladies and gentlemen. 2 nights away. Welcome to episode 92 of the Steelers Culture Podcast. How fitting. Shout out to James Harrison. Shout out to Jason Gilden, who's been in the Steelers Hall of Honor. And shout out to BetUS as they are sponsoring this episode today. Yes, thank you for that. Seriously. Tonight we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to talk about in regards to some of the news, some of the announcements that Mike Tomlin made today. In regards to who will be playing versus the Texans in the Steelers preseason opener, as well as what's been going on so far within the first 2 days of Steelers training camp this week, which has been a little bit of an increased play for certain players, which might tell the tale for what could happen on Friday night and what that could mean for the future. So we got a lot to talk about there, man. How you guys feeling tonight? I know we're all still anticipating. We're all still jittery. We're all still checking our phones every 5-10 minutes, maybe more than that, to see if it's official, if it's happened yet. It has not. It may not even happen, but it sure seems like we're edging closer and closer. I'm still just waiting for it all to play out, but, I mean, it's just back and forth all over the place. Yes, it is. From various reports how the Steelers are out of it, essentially, but then they're re-engaging, and then it's like just constant back and forth between the two. There's a deal in place. There's not a deal in place. There's numerous reports, but I can tell you this right now. The Steelers were never out of it. Whatever report you may have heard on what night was that? Was that Monday night? Monday night. Whatever report you may have heard. From the Niners Insider. When the article. He has incredible sources, but whatever you heard about the Steelers being out of it, they were never out of it. They were never out of it because Aiyuk only wants to come to one place. Yeah, he doesn't want to go to New England. That was confirmed. And apparently New England wanted to pay him over $30 million. I think I read 32 mil. They were going to give him Justin Jefferson money. But he didn't want to go there. No. Which is where he has a lot of leverage. And keep in mind, the Niners did agree to whatever the Pats were going to trade away. Yes. It's just... Which probably would have been a lot. It all fell on if Aiyuk really wanted to go there. Yep. It all fell in his hands, and he said, nope, I'm not going there. I don't want to go there. And I'm telling you right now, he's not going to Cleveland either. So there's only one place for him to go if he were to be traded, and you guys know exactly where that's at. Will it happen? I don't know. We'll talk about that later in the show because, first of all, I want to talk about Justin Fields. I want to talk about how he will be playing versus the Texans, obviously, but he will be playing the first bit of snaps. He will be playing the first couple of series. He will be getting first-team reps versus the Texans. Russell Wilson will not. Interesting. Russell Wilson will not play. Now, that could mean a bunch of things. That could be because of his injury. That could be because they want to see how much Justin Fields can do with this opportunity, what he can do with the extra reps. Maybe they're trying to give him the best chance possible to be the week 1 starter because Mike Tomlin did confirm it is a legitimate quarterback competition. So maybe that's the case. Or it could just be that Russell Wilson is a seasoned vet. He is a 13-year vet. So perhaps it's just one of those things where he doesn't need to play because he's been around the league a while. He's conditioned enough. He already knows, Mike Tomlin already knows what to expect from a guy like Russell Wilson, which is why Russell Wilson, along with multiple starters, are not going to be playing versus the Texans. That includes Russell Wilson, T.J. Watt, Alex Highsmith, Minka Fitzpatrick, Patrick Queen, Isaac Seumalo, and, of course, Cameron Hayward. Those are the 7 starters or 7 players that Mike Tomlin will be sitting versus the Texans, which is increased play for, obviously, Justin Fields, for Nick Herbig, for Marcus Golden, who's back, for, a bunch of the edge guys that are trying to work their way up into trying to make a roster spot or a practice squad spot. Obviously, in regards to Patrick Queen being inactive, that means that Payton Wilson's going to get a lot more playing time. I think we're all excited for that. With Isaac Seumalo not playing, that could mean first-team reps for a guy like Spencer Anderson, who's been getting first-team reps when Seumalo's been having his rest days. That can mean more playing time for Mason McCormick, maybe at left guard. Maybe he gets first-team reps there. Maybe him and Spencer Anderson split that. They could exercise that, yeah. Speaking of splitting, Broderick and Dan Moore, they will be playing, and they will be splitting reps over at left tackle. And I don't want to jump all over the place, but Broderick Jones and Dan Moore have been splitting first-team reps at left tackle. For the majority of training camp, it has been Dan Moore getting the majority of first-team reps. This week, that has changed a little bit. Broderick Jones is seeing a lot more playing time, almost double, triple playing time at left tackle, thankfully. Now, that doesn't mean he's going to be playing left tackle only because Mike Tomlin did confirm, and he said that we should expect Broderick to play both tackle spots. And that's versus the Texans and onward. Why? I don't know. I still don't know. I don't know why Dan Moore... Considering the fact that in training camp, Fatanu is exclusively getting right tackle reps with the first team. Yeah. As a matter of fact, Troy Fatanu has been getting all of the first team right tackle reps, at least this week. All of them. Because Broderick isn't sharing that with Fatanu. He's now sharing left tackle reps with Dan Moore. So they are getting their full confidence, their full faith in Troy Fatanu hammering down that right tackle spot, which he's been doing very well in camp. He's having himself a great camp thus far. It'll be very interesting to see how he tests in a real game. Mm-hmm. But now that Fatanu is really stapling himself there at right tackle, he could very well start there. That means Broderick Jones long-term is obviously going to be at left tackle. It's just how immediate will the Steelers make that move? Because for some reason, Dan Moore is still being incorporated into the first team, and that will remain the same until that is not the case anymore. When that will be, I don't know. It's going on way too long, but we know what the long-term vision is. It's just the Steelers need to stop delaying the inevitable. And I don't know why they constantly keep doing that. I don't know what it is. I don't know what their obsession with Dan Moore is at left tackle. There's a reason why they went back-to-back draft classes in the first round with the tackle position. Shout out to the GT Show with a 499 says, let's go Steelers. Can't wait till September 8th. Hashtag here we go. Start Broderick. Yes. For 2 words for you, yeah, start Broderick. The only reason I can think of, the only logical reason I can think of why Dan Moore is still getting first-team reps or a chunk of that or the majority of them is because they don't view Dan Moore as the swing tackle. They view Broderick as that.
I mean, he showcased that flexibility last year. I mean, it's hard. It's understandable to see why they view him as that. Dan Moore, I mean, they have not exercised that ability one bit. Dan Moore on his own right, he tried to work as right tackle
Last year.
but the Steelers have not exercised that. They only view him as a primary left tackle.
Because they're not comfortable with that. Dan Moore is not comfortable with that. They know they can trust Broderick at any spot because he started both of those spots last year. Why are you having your first-round pick you traded up for last year as your backup swing tackle just because you don't have one? I don't know. It makes no sense to me, especially since no matter what, Broderick is going to be the starting left tackle at some point. So no matter what, you won't have a swing tackle, so you might as well just make Broderick the starter anyway. That's just my vision. Maybe they're trying to get as much playing time out of Dan Moore as possible for, I don't know, a trade. I have no clue. But Dan Moore is still listed the starter. He will still be the starter. I anticipate him getting the first bit of left tackle reps come Friday night versus the Texans. But I want to see how much time Broderick Jones is going to get at left tackle because last year, especially in preseason, he got a lot of time. I remember seeing him getting playing time in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
When we had backups playing at that point. So how much more time is Broderick Jones going to play? How much left tackle time is he going to get?
Significantly more, I hope so. I think he needs it. I think the Steelers need to utilize that.
If you're not down with that,
Keep them coming.
we've
GT
got
Show
two
Super Chat.
words for you.
Thank you. 499 says, did you boys enjoy the meme I sent into the Discord earlier? Yes, I did. That was hilarious. That was hilarious. I can't wait for 20 years from now to me think back to that. But hopefully in 20 years from now, I can think back to even greater memories, such as training for Aiyuk. Just saying.
Hey, he's working the phones. He's not going to stop either.
I know. But
You got him on speed dial.
But yeah, what I'm most looking forward to at the tackle position in general is how are they going to line up the first team offensive line? Is it going to be like last year where Dan Moore is the starting left tackle and then Broderick Jones is the starting right tackle? Or are they going to put Fatanu at right tackle immediately with Dan Moore at left while splitting reps with Broderick at that position?
Well, considering the depth chart that they released, the first official depth chart, Dan Moore is the starting left tackle, Broderick's the starting right tackle, and the second string left tackle is actually Troy Fatanu.
Yeah, correct.
That's on the depth chart.
It's the initial depth chart, which has very little significance. It has very little meaning because this depth chart is not the depth chart going into week one. It's just who the Steelers. That's what Mike Tomlin listed. But yes, on the initial depth chart, Dan Moore is still the starting left tackle. Broderick Jones is still the starting right tackle. So could that be what we see in the first couple snaps or the first couple series with Justin Fields come Friday? It'll be very interesting to see how they mix them up. Not just the tackle position, but the entire offensive line in general. Because Sayamalu's out, so will Spencer Anderson get first-team reps? Will Mason McCormick get first-team reps? Will Zach Frazier get first-team reps? Because let me tell you, man, Zach Frazier has gotten 0 first-team reps all camp.
No, it's
0.
It's all been Nate Herbig. It's been the Nate Herbig show. And from what I heard, Herbig's been having a very solid camp, which is good to hear.
Sure. I mean, I think we all trust Herbig in being a good backup, a very good emergency guy, even if he has to play center or so. But you draft a center at 52 for a reason. Play him with the first team. I don't know why the Steelers like to ease their rookies in. Just play the guys. There's a reason why these guys are already coming out of the draft. There's a reason. These guys, man, have played the position for years on end. They are pure at their craft. Play them, especially a guy like Frazier.
Yeah, the most pure center coming out of the draft class.
Right.
So I don't know what they're going to do with that. I really don't. But from what I've heard, Frazier's been, getting better by the day, by the week with training camp, which is great to hear.
Right.
He's somebody that, is obviously going to be a long-term vision for the middle of the offensive line.
Oh, that's our center. That is my center.
Yeah.
Best center we've had in a while, and that's before he's even snapped the ball to Justin Fields.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm interested to see how Nate Herbig does because he was our hybrid backup guard last year. And he's primarily a hybrid backup guard, but now this year he's playing that center role. I am intrigued to see how he performs as a center, snapping the ball and protecting the quarterback and, getting in space, when it comes to running the ball and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what Herbig can do.
Because he does have experience, not a lot. I think it's less than, 60 career snaps? I'll get the exact number. I know I'm paraphrasing there. But he is listed as a starter on the initial depth chart, which, again, has little meaning, but that's some news there. So how much time is he going to get at center? How much time is Zach Frazier going to get, whether it's with the first team or not? How much time is Zach Frazier going to get? I would imagine a significant amount.
Yeah, I don't know how early they're going to throw Zach Frazier out there with the first team, but it may not even be the first preseason game. It may not be the Texans game. It could very well be week 2 or week 3.
Right.
It may take some time for the Steelers to put Frazier with the first team. Maybe they want to give Herbig this game right here just to see what he's got.
Sure. I mean, obviously it's the first preseason game, so we'll see how these guys test out, and that'll lead to bigger opportunities for the remaining days of training camp, which is very little, and, of course, the last 2 games of preseason. So it's whether what these guys can do, it's going to give them a bigger opportunity, more reps, and more increased playing time. So we'll see what happens, but I'm very interested to see how they're going to customize the offensive line because they've been doing many variations in training camp of mixing a lot of these guys, getting them ready for first-team reps and second-team reps, and I just want to see how they're going to incorporate a lot of those names within those squads and how much playing time each guy's going to get. How much time is Fitzgerald going to get? Hopefully a significant amount. How much time is Zach Frazier going to get? I would bet a lot of time. Maybe a full half, 3/4, if I had to be honest.
Possibly.
How much is Spencer Anderson going to get? Is he going to get primarily left guard snaps? Is he going to see time at center because he's versatile? How much time is Broderick going to get? That's what I'm really interested in seeing because those are future core guys for the offensive line. So let's see how tested they really are or how they test versus the Texans, man. Going back to quarterback with Russell Wilson, Justin Fields. What I want to know is, with Justin Fields as I suppose the starter, I can't really say he's going to start because it's preseason. He'll play the first couple series. What does that mean exactly? When he says couple series, is he talking like 2, 3, a whole half? Because you have you have Justin Fields, you have Kyle Allen, then you got John Reese Plymouth.
Yeah.
So those are your 3 quarterbacks that we're going to see on Friday. How much time is Fields going to get? When he says couple series, what I'm thinking is like a quarter and a half. I want to see him get a full half. I want to see him get a full first half.
Yeah, a full half would be something that I would do if I were Coach Tomlin. I think it really depends on the time management, time of possession for the offense. With how the defense does going up against Houston, because Houston's starting some of their offense as well. So that's going to be interesting to see on what the defense does going up against some studs right there from Houston.
Right. I'm glad you pointed that out. That is true. Yes, Houston will be playing their first team offense. I wouldn't anticipate long, but they will.
Right. But in general, I would give Fields the full first half. The guy is balling out in training camp. The guy is showing consistency. He's building that chemistry with his targets, especially Pickens. Not only is it being consistent, but it's a strong duo.
Right.
It's a strong connection right there. So keep that up. Keep that going. Give Fields as much time as you can possibly give him.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially with Russ not playing, because if Russ was not injured, if he didn't suffer the calf injury, I'd be really interested to see what the split would be between Russ and Fields with this first preseason game. Now that Russ is out, I'm giving the ball completely with Justin Fields in the first half.
Well, I would anticipate by the Bills game next week that we're going to see that exactly. Russell Wilson gets some snaps, and Justin Fields get the second team. Or it could be vice versa. It could be the complete opposite. The thing with Russell Wilson is, yes, he's still recovering from his calf injury. And that has still limited him. But for the first time in training camp, all camp, because Russell Wilson is starting to finally recuperate from his injury, Russell Wilson and Justin Fields are sharing and splitting first-team reps for the first time all camp. So Russell Wilson is working his way back into the lineup, into practice, into warm-ups, into getting himself ready for the season. Because odds are, yes, he could still very well be the starter, despite what Justin Fields may be showing right now in camp and what we could see the next 3 games, which is so far so good. That all we hear is very good things and some upgrades and some growth and some consistency from Fields. Obviously, that's going to. We'll see how that transitions from practice on into the game, because that's where Fields is really going to make his case. But Russell Wilson's getting more time. He's getting more bulk of practice time, especially in 7-on-7s. They are really splitting the reps between Russell Wilson and Justin Fields in 11-on-11s and 7 shots especially. So now what Russell Wilson's been doing hasn't been anything crazy. It's just simple stuff, stuff that Russell Wilson can do and what he's able to do now with his current condition. So it's nothing crazy, but again, he's a veteran. He knows how to prepare himself. He knows how to deal with situations like this. So Tomlin, man, when he was asked about the lack of reps and the lack of playing time that Russell Wilson has got, and if that's a concern, Mike Tomlin said, it's not a concern with me. And that's probably because Russell Wilson is an established veteran and a future Hall of Famer. He is a high IQ quarterback.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would say Mike Tomlin has no reason to be concerned. But at the same time, when you look into heading into the season, you got to go with the most ready quarterback. Not just the best quarterback, but the most ready. Not just the most healthy, but the guy that is someone that already has the chemistry built with a guy like Pickens, with a guy like Van Jefferson, with Muth, with the entire offense. The guy that can give your targets the ball.
Based off the reps and based off what we've seen, Fields has the stronger connection and chemistry with the offense than Russ has.
And that just comes with extra reps that he's been given due to the injury. That's just natural. But that could very well drive Mike Tomlin to give Justin Fields the starting quarterback job. That depends, obviously, if Justin Fields can translate everything that he's been seeing and everything he's been doing in camp into the regular game.
And that's what's really going to have to help Justin Fields out, for him to actually, take what he's doing in training camp and executing it into preseason and showcasing, hey, I do want to compete. Hey, I can be your starter. Hey, I want to play here.
Right.
I want to be here.
And, yeah, he won't be playing against crazy starters, I wouldn't imagine. I don't know exactly who the Texans will be starting or who they'll be playing on the defense. I don't know if Stingley's playing. I don't know if Will Anderson's playing. I don't know if their linebackers are playing. I don't know. I didn't go into that much detail. But what's going to be most watched about Justin Fields is his growth in his pocket presence, in the way he reads his receivers and reads the NFL defense, and his anticipation. Those are falls that he's had in Chicago, which has led to missed touchdowns, missed throws, missed opportunities, and no help from his line, no help from his receivers either. But Fields, that's where he needs to step up. And step up he has so far in camp, but again, that's camp. We're talking about practice here. That is where we're going to have to see some true significance from Justin Fields come game time, come when the lights come on. So that's what I'm really going to be looking most forward to, as well as how he works himself in the pocket. He can use his legs, as we all know, but he's also one of those guys that is not afraid to stand in the pocket. He's not a quarterback where he senses pressure and then runs immediately.
No.
He will literally stand in the pocket and try to find an open target and use his arm talent to find success. How improved is that going to be? That's what I want to see. Because he's shown the ability, he's shown the elusiveness, he's shown the guts to remain a pocket passer despite the ability of using his legs.
Yeah.
He can use his smarts, he can read the defense, and he can make proper judgments. How is that going to translate into the actual game? Especially with this new offense, this new scheme, which is fitting him better, which is giving him that extra confidence, that boost back in his career. How's that going to establish himself as a quarterback for the Steelers? It's going to be very interesting to watch come Friday, because again, this could be the starter. This could be the future. This could be the whole season right here.
That's going to be the guy that everybody, not just Steelers fans, but I would say any other NFL fan watching, right, that is going to want to pay attention and see how he can do.
Yeah.
what he's learned, how much he's grown, and how much progression he has in his new NFL home with the Steelers right here.
Yeah, this is the place he wanted to be. This is a place. This is a team that wanted him. Out of all the trade talk and the trade rumors and the teams that called or didn't call, the Steelers were the one that was constantly on the phone with Ryan Poles because they wanted Fields. Shout out to Matthew, who became a member of the STN. Says, do you know if Roman Wilson will play soon? Probably not. He's still rehabbing an ankle injury.
Yeah.
So probably not. What we heard when he got hurt is he'll be out 2 weeks, which is pretty much the end of training camp. That means he could be back next week versus the Bills. If not next week, it'll be the last preseason game. I hope. I really hope. Because I still have high hopes for Roman Wilson. But I wouldn't anticipate him playing this week, which means this is obviously more increased playing time for Van Jefferson, for Calvin Austin, for Scotty Miller. Those are 3 guys that have been having solid camps, despite the concern or the lack of dependability or the lack of trust from a lot of us at the wide receiver room.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a big opportunity for them. So many other receivers that could be stepping up as well. So we'll see what they can bring to the table. Maybe a Quez Watkins can show out and show himself that he can be a decent depth guy. Maybe this is a game that could really just pull the trigger for an Aiyuk move. I'm just saying.
It really could, because if Roman Wilson didn't suffer that ankle injury, I would have anticipated him playing a lot of reps.
Yes.
I would anticipate him seeing a lot of playing time, maybe even a good bit of targets in that game, right? But now with him out, this is a big test for Van Jefferson, Quez Watkins, Scotty Miller, Calvin Austin, right? Guys like that. This is a big test for them to step into that wide receiver 2 position and see if they can showcase what they need to, right, to hold that wide receiver 2 position.
Mm-hmm.
And for their sake, they're gonna have to. But if they don't showcase anything, despite them having solid camps, then yeah, the Steelers may have to make the deal.
And that's where Omar Khan could really up the ante and be like, let's just pull the trigger. So we'll see. But a guy like I want to get on Van Jefferson a little bit. A guy like Van Jefferson has been having himself a very, very quiet camp. This is someone that has been working hard. This is someone that understands the opportunity he has, man. He found success with the Rams and then hasn't done much in recent years. He has small connections, small chemistry with Arthur Smith, who's our OC, right? This is a big opportunity for him. He's been having himself a very solid camp. He's connecting with Fields. He's getting some big chunk yardage. He's scoring in 7 shots and whenever is necessary. And he's staying after practice to work on his hands. So this is someone that could really show out in preseason, especially with Justin Fields starting or playing a little bit. So this is a connection we could see light up preseason a little bit.
Yeah, and with Jefferson, based off everybody else that's on the team at wide receiver, he has the most or the best experience as a wide receiver too. He was that for the Rams during their Super Bowl run where he had his best year. And again, this is where he's going to have to step up and showcase and do what he's got to do.
Yeah, same thing with Calvin Austin. Same thing with Scotty Miller. I want to see what Calvin Austin can do. I want not only see what Calvin Austin can do and where he's grown as a route runner and in his separation, and his route tree, especially. Because I feel like he's an underrated route runner. We just don't use him. We didn't use him last year at all. Like in preseason last year versus the Bucs, he got that long touchdown from Mason, right? His first NFL game, he got a long touchdown. He got the same thing versus the Raiders, right, on Sunday night. I think it was.
Yeah, it was.
It was his only touchdown.
Yeah, but after that, I mean, you could, he was nowhere to be seen.
No, like we saw glimpses of what he can do. We just didn't do it often. It was kind of a waste of talent there. What's Arthur Smith going to do with him? How's he going to incorporate him? What has he done to step himself up? I'm very interested in seeing, how they're going to utilize a guy like that. Someone of his speed. And Arthur Smith likes to use those speedy threats to his ability, like his little secret weapon, his back pocket type of guy. Someone that he can utilize and make a big splash play. How is he going to utilize a guy like that? It might not be as immediate into week 1 of preseason. We'll see throughout the next couple games, but you know, we could see a little small glimpse of what he could offer, or what Arthur Smith could bring to the entire offense. And translating to that, what is the offensive scheme going to look like? It's going to look a little different than what we've seen the past dreadful 4 years, which is a good thing, by the way. It's a great thing.
Yeah, this has changed that. I mean, for God's sake, the Steelers needed, for sure. I mean, it was nothing but the same old stuff for the past. It feels like 8 years.
Like, what's he going to bring to the table? What's he going to incorporate to the offense? What new is he going to add? You know, we could see a lot more pistol, which is his bread and butter. We could see a lot more wide zone runs, which is exactly how he runs his run scheme. We could see some fucking eye form, swear jar.
Yeah,
You
legitimately.
know, we got 2 fullbacks on the roster that they have been splitting reps with that we could literally see a lot of fullback time. We have Connor Hayward and Jack Coletto that could be seeing fullback time. I want to see a lot of that. You know, he's going to be very tight end heavy, as we know. How's he going to incorporate some of that talent? How's he going to incorporate a guy like Darnell Washington, who's been seeing a little more of the route tree in training camp?
He has.
He's been getting some middle of the field, some intermediate shots.
And you mentioned middle of the field. I mean, that's something that has also been seen heavily throughout training camp for the Steelers. They have been targeting the middle of the field a lot. Something that was pretty much a myth to Matt Canada in his system, right? A myth to the Steelers. Like, well, middle of the field? What's that?
Yeah.
What's that? I never heard of that before. No, Arthur Smith has. And he's very familiar with that, and that's what he's going to try to utilize.
No, man, like, I'm not trying to get too overexcited about it, or if we see whatever we can see, what glimpses that he could show, I don't want to get too crazy about it because, again, now I know that was some old coaching staff, that was some old players that are thankfully gone from last year. A lot of what happened in preseason did not translate to the regular season, so let's keep it at a bare minimum. Let's keep the excitement at just mid-level, but I'm very interested in seeing what new we could see from the scheme. Like, what else are we going to incorporate? Who are we going to incorporate? There's a lot of talent that hasn't been used, that's been underutilized, especially a guy like Pat Frymuth. How many targets is he going to get?
Yeah, a lot of fresh new plays, a lot of fresh new packages that Arthur Smith could implement and see if the guys can execute. I mean,
we could see a lot more 2 running back sets. We could see a lot more wing plays, dude. Like, we could see Najee and Warren on the field at the same time a little more often. We could see a lot more running back screens, which I think would benefit a guy like Najee because it'd make his play on the field a lot less unpredictable.
Rather than second and Najee like we always called last year. It's like the majority of the players on offense, Najee, Warren, Muth, Pickens, like they came into the league, all they knew was Matt Canada's playbook. All they knew was Matt Canada and what he tried to incorporate to the offense.
Right.
And it was god-awful, but you seen what they were able to do with such a god-awful scheme and a god-awful playbook.
Yeah.
I mean, now that they're paired with a familiar and experienced offensive coordinator, somebody that has previous success at that, and he's going to try to implement his style, his scheme, his playbook into these guys. And I do think that these guys are smart enough and talented enough with their high football IQ and dedication and passion to work with this, to want to make this work.
Well, everyone's already saying, like, they get a sense of trust, they get a sense of comfortability with this scheme compared to previous years where we've had several players say, we didn't know what the fuck we were doing. That's good. That's great, actually. So we could see a little glimpses of that come Friday, and I'm excited for that. And what I'm very excited to see, what we haven't seen in a while, it seemed like the only time we ever saw it was when we ran a sneak. We're going to see a lot more under center, which could lead to a lot more play action.
Can you get a coin?
No, I can't.
It's not that hard. There you go.
But yeah, we can see a lot
play action, absolutely.
which could lead to a lot more deep shots, which shout out to Randy Forehand. Subscribe to the SteelTwins. Appreciate you, Randy.
Thanks, Randy.
Hell yeah.
Let's ride.
Let's ride.
There you go. But yeah, I'm very excited to see what new we could see with this offense and how we could use a lot of talent, which has been underutilized. You know, Darnell Washington, Pat Frymuth, Connor Hayward, Calvin Austin. So what other guys could step up? It's a little exciting, man. We could see some good.
All I want to see is us not be predictable. I want to see a change of scenery, you know, a new fresh coat of paint for this offense. Something just different. And I believe that we will get that. I'm hopeful about that.
Shout out to Rob Lightfoot in the chat. He asked Rob and Dan, let's get an Aiyuk poll going. Will Aiyuk be a Steeler?
Aiyuk wants to be. That's the one team he wants to go to. He admitted it.
Oh, I know.
He said no to the Patriots. The Patriots were willing to give up whatever they offered and give up the money, over $30 million.
Right.
And I still said no. He's like, no, I don't want to go to you. That's not my preferred spot.
No.
I don't want to be there. And why would he choose Cleveland? What does Cleveland have to offer?
What's good in Cleveland?
Nothing. They're riding with Deshaun Watson. Why would Aiyuk want to catch passes for Deshaun Watson?
Yeah.
Like, get the hell out of here.
Justin DeAndrea says the offense will run better just because we aren't running 10-plus jet sweeps a game. Correct. Well, we definitely shouldn't run no jet sweeps, seeing that Roman Wilson got hurt. Yeah, let's just get rid.
I feel like that dog meme, you know the one I'm talking about.
Yeah,
the dog with
the PTSD, Chihuahua,
helicopters, or war and stuff like that. Like, just don't do that. All right. Please just take that out of your playbook, Arthur Smith. Do not incorporate a jet sweep. It does not work.
Give me the playbook.
It does not work.
I will gladly rip it and burn it. Please let me. I'll piss out the ashes. I swear to God, that play has been a nightmare.
Many times we see freaking
get rid of it.
Guys like Claypool and freaking. Even tried with Pickens several times, right?
Remember he ran a fucking jet sweep with, I think it was, what's his name? Jack Zentry.
Now I do, now that you bring it up. I forgot he did that.
That's the past, though. Thankfully, that's the past, though. We ain't got to worry about that now. So hopefully Arthur Smith doesn't do anything predictable or illogical. He shouldn't, because now that he's the LC, he can really just start working on that and bettering the entire offense as a whole with the talent that he can utilize. Another thing I want to talk about real quick before we transition to the defense is the third running back spot. We have Najee, we have Warren. Who's our third running back? I can't tell you. And we will see a lot of our backup running backs in camp because the Steelers have a lot of them. They have a lot of them. And we could see a lot of LaMichael Pirine. We could see a lot of Jonathan Ward, a lot of Aaron Champlin, or DeJune Edwards.
Yep.
We could see a lot of them. And from what I'm hearing, from what I'm seeing, Pirine, Champlin, and Ward especially are really pushing for that number 3 spot.
Yeah, considering that Cordero Patterson, he's still dealing with a minor injury. Now, he's been working his way, slowly, back into practice. He's trying to get off the PUP list, slowly but surely, day by day. But because Patterson is not practicing fully, these guys are stepping in. They're taking the rock, and then they're showcasing what they can do. So this is absolutely a big opportunity for these guys to showcase, hey, I deserve to be on this roster. I deserve a spot, We're busting our ass out here.
And a guy like Michael Pirine has been around the league a little bit. I think it was recently with the Chiefs, or he was with the Chiefs at one point. So he's pushing for a roster spot for sure, as you guys know. A guy like Jonathan Ward, I hear nothing but good things about him. I hear he can do everything that you ask him to do. He can pass protect. He can run you over. He can catch the ball at the backfield, and he can play special teams. This is a guy that all of that is really going to push his chances.
It just fits the mold of a running back 3, especially for the Steelers.
Yeah.
That's what they want. That's what they adore.
I think that's great. And those are the guys that we're mostly going to be seeing in preseason. So get used to those names, and I think one of those can really make a significant push to be the running back 3. Same thing with fullback, Connor Hayward and Jack Coletto. Connor Hayward is still listed as a tight end, fullback mix, so maybe he makes the roster as a tight end. Maybe they keep Coletto and put him there at fullback primarily, and maybe he makes the roster as that. Maybe he's the third running back, unofficially. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. But
You know, there's guys in the backfield that are really going to be pushing for opportunities, and those are the guys we're going to be seeing the most out of. So get used to those names. I'm looking forward to see who can really make a name for themselves. But before we transition on to the defense, man, I want to give a huge shout-out to BetUS for sponsoring today's podcast episode. Shout out to BetUS, man. If you guys are looking for a new sports book this season, BetUS is the answer for you, man. It's talking about the fastest payouts in the industry. 125% sign-up bonus up to $2,000 on your first 3 deposits, man. That's free money right there. So you can bet whatever, and then you get free money in return, or you can make a deposit, get free money in return, and still make money in the process. Fast and easy deposit and withdrawal process. Live wagering on all major games, which is a big plus for me because I'm a betting man, and I was looking for a sports book. And, dude, they already got so many specials, NFL specials. You can even bet on the preseason game if you wanted to. I don't know why you would, but if you ever desired to, they got that going for you.
Yeah, maybe they just want to get the vibe, the feel of, what's going to be like for the regular season. Some people are into that.
Yeah.
I know you might do it.
I was looking into it. I'm not going to lie to you. I was really looking into it. But what I was really looking into, because you see they got all the week schedules. They got Coach of the Year award, defensive player, most valuable player, offensive rookie, comeback player, defensive rookie, offensive player. They got player stats, which you can play around with. But what I'm looking at is most sacks. At the top of the list is TJ Watt at plus 450. I don't know about you guys. I feel very confident in that.
Absolutely. Why wouldn't you be?
You could be looking at free money right there. His odds are at 450. If you guys want to bet on Garrett or Parsons or Crosby or Allen or Bosa or whoever, feel free to do that. But I think TJ Watt's going to lead the league in sacks again and make a strong push to win Defensive Player of the Year again. Let me ask you guys, man, how many sacks do you guys think TJ Watt's going to get this year?
A lot.
Do you think it could be 20 plus? Do you think he could break Strahan's record, which he already should have, but he didn't? I'm thinking he gets 20 sacks.
Watt's always got a chip on his shoulder.
Look at that. 20 sacks. So $1 per sack, 20 sacks, and you can win 90, which is his jersey number. The writing's on the wall. Writing's on the wall.
Hey. Hell yeah, man.
I'm placing it. I'm placing that right now. Boom. I placed 20. I could win 90. I won't know to the end of the season, but I'm pretty confident in that. So if you guys want to get in on this, you guys want to share the bet, you guys want to follow that, you guys can do that. Again, they got so many other things as well you guys can look into. And plus, like I said, 125% bonus on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000, man. So
$2,000.
So huge shout out, huge thank you to BetUS for sponsoring and powering today's podcast episode. Click the link in the description below to sign up today. Just please gamble responsibly. Please gamble responsibly. Now, moving on to the defense, man. As we know, like we said, TJ Watt, Highsmith and them will be out. Hayward will be out. Patrick Queen will be out. So that's going to lead to bigger opportunities for other players. You know, Nick Herbig's coming off what I think is a very good rookie year for seeing very limited playing time.
Very limited playing time.
And he's bulked up. He's been working with Watt. You know, he's kind of used him as an understudy, has Watt with Herbig. So,
and that's been the case even dating back to when Herbig was back in Wisconsin.
And he's been working on his pass rush arsenal. He's starting to hammer down on Highsmith's spin cycle, which is deadly.
And not only that, he's taking lessons from, shout out to James Harrison again. James Harrison has been in training camp a couple times, and he's just tutoring the young stud.
Wow. People say 20 minimum, 25 sacks. Alex Highsmith is going to get 12. I could see that. I could very well see that. I don't know how many sacks Nick Herbig's going to get, but I remember last preseason he was a wrecker, and he got 3 sacks last year, and he played very limited snaps.
Yep.
I think he's going to be the primary edge piece again this year, or he should be. You know, maybe Marcus Golden could still be that because of his veteran presence, but the way I see it, man, now that we got that core back, we got the best edge room we've had in a while back for a second straight year. Let's play those guys a little more often. Let's keep Watt and Highsmith refreshed. Let's keep them healthy. Let's keep them, let's be honest, ready to go for when the game gets towards the end and it gets crunch time, because at the end of the day, this is Pittsburgh Steelers football. We know how it goes.
Yeah. And we're going to need them for sure. You know, we're going to need their chemistry. We're going to need their impact. We're going to need their pass rush capabilities.
Yeah. In order to do that, you need very capable guys to step in as edge depth. You have that in Herbig. Marcus Golden showed that even for his age, he's still a good component in the pass rush as a depth guy. You have those two together, backing up Watt and Highsmith. Definitely play them more. Definitely give them more significant playing time because I think that they should get more significant playing time.
I agree. I want to see how more explosive Nate Herbig has gotten in his second year because he's already shown that. And what's he going to bring to the table in year two? We're going to get a small glimpse of that in the preseason. And I think we all love Nick Herbig. I think we all trust him as a great edge guy, as a rotational piece, maybe even as a future starter in some way, somehow, if you want to think of that. Or we could use him a lot in dime packages, man. And the reason I say that is because they could have 6 defensive backs. They could have 1 defensive lineman, and the rest of the players are all linebackers. They could rush 3 linebackers while keeping a guy like Patrick Queen or Peyton Wilson as the sole cover guy in dime package.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. Who remembers when Melvin Ingram was a Steeler?
Yep.
And they incorporated that a handful of times with Dupree, Watt, and Ingram.
Dirty, because we had Dupree / Highsmith and Watt on the edge, and then we had Ingram play interior blitz like a linebacker.
Who's to say that they don't put Herbig interior?
They should. Or if you want to blitz Watt interior, that's even better. My God. I mean, they could really incorporate him as much as they can, and they should. And they really should. But, these guys are still going to make a push. A guy like Jeremiah Moon, a guy like Jacoby Windman, Julius Welshoff, guys like that are really going to try to make a strong push, potentially for a roster spot, most likely. But, they're going to get a significant amount of playing time as well. So we'll see how they do in rotations for sure. Moving on to defensive line, how much playing time is Keanu Benton going to play? And what could be his role and how better of him could we see? How much of a player has he grown in year 2 since he's lost weight and he's looking a little more explosive?
Yep.
Regarding defensive line, a guy like DeMarvin Leal, this is make or break for him.
Majorly.
A month ago, we were looking at him as, hey, he could be a cut, being a third-round pick just a few years ago. And now he's having himself a very solid camp. He's coming in lighter. He's coming in a little more explosive. He's in the backfield very often. So, we'll see if that transitions for a guy like him because he's trying to make a roster spot over a guy like Isaiah Loudermilk, a guy like Brandon Fioku, Logan Lee. What's Logan Lee gonna bring to the table?
Yep.
Montravius Adams, of course. Shout out to Kurgan Cole, became an STN member. Shout out to you, man. So that's gonna be interesting to see as well. Where are those guys gonna bring to the table?
Yeah, Hayward being inactive and just the defensive line depth in general. For the past couple of years, it just hasn't really been effective. It just hasn't been reliable. So when it comes to Hayward being inactive, Ben is going to be playing. Ogunjobi should be playing, but the backup defensive linemen, that rotation right there of Leal, Loudermilk, Logan Lee, guys like that, Fihoku, they're definitely going to get a shot for sure to prove themselves. And this is a big year for guys like Leal. This is make or break. Loudermilk, he's been here for quite some time, and he just has not really been a good depth piece for the majority of his run.
He's been a healthy and active for the majority of his.
This is, I would say, another make or break type of year for a player like him. Logan Lee, being a 6th-round selection, he could take the range right here. And he could really see a lot of playing time being a rookie, seeing what he can showcase.
Who's he going to push for a roster spot is what I'm going to be very interested to see.
That could be Loudermilk. He could push Loudermilk out the door.
Yeah. Maybe, or Leal, or we'll see. This is an underrated competition because these are guys that are really pushing for a playoff spot because we have Hayward, we have Ogunjobi, we have Adams, we have Benton. Those are your guys, right? Who else is going to make the roster as the depth pieces? They're probably going to keep 6 defensive linemen, maybe 7. Depends how they orchestrate the other positions like receiver and tight end.
They
and
could
stuff
really
like that.
load the D line. Usually, year after year, they try to load up the D line. So I could see something of that sort again this year.
Right. Linebacker. Of course, when you talk about linebacker in preseason, you got to talk about Payton Wilson.
If you're not with that.
Kirk Cole with a
We've
6.
got 2 words for you.
Thank you. Thank you, Cole, man. In the house. Says Kirk and Cole. Appreciate you, brother. He also says, hello, Yinzers. What's going on, man? Glad to have you in the chat. Glad to have you a member of the STN, bro. Shout out to you, man. Yeah, Peyton Wilson. Show of hands if you're excited for Peyton Wilson.
I acknowledge Peyton Wilson.
I acknowledge number 41. My God. You know, when you talk about players that you're most excited for, in my opinion, in my regard, Peyton Wilson's up there. Peyton Wilson might be number 1. Truthfully. This guy has been showing out in camp. This guy has been the first player on the field damn near every single day. This guy shows his speed. He's been great in one-on-ones against running backs and tight ends and coverage drills. He's done well in back-on-backers as a blitz guy, as he's able to shed off blocks, right? This is an electric football player. You know, I'm very interested to see what he's going to bring to the table. You know, with Patrick Queen out, I would imagine Landon Roberts and Peyton Wilson will be the guys that play initially with the first-team defense against the Texans' first-team offense, which is going to be interesting because that first-team offense last year killed us, as we know.
And they added.
Yeah, they got Diggs, they got Mixon. They've improved. The line is healthier.
Yeah.
Right? It's
Yeah, they got some of their stud offensive linemen back.
Right. Now, I don't know how much of them are going to play. I don't know how long the first-team offense plays. But what I know is we have new pieces in the defense. Some will play, some will not. That could show that. Wow, Kurgan Cole 9.
2 words for you.
PW looks like Rudy. You know what? I wasn't thinking that, but you're kind of right. He kind of does. He kind of does, man. Appreciate the 9, man. Yeah, I mean, I lost my train of thought. Where was I at?
Texans offense.
Yeah. Thank you. We're gonna get some new pieces into the defense that are going to show their initial change, their initial impact into this defense against an offense. Some of it that killed us last year. Guys like Dante Jackson, guys like Peyton Wilson, guys like that, guys like Deshaun Elliott, who will be playing some at safety.
Yep.
Those are guys that are added and upgrades. Absolutely, that will be that could show their immediate impact, which is great. I'm very excited for that. Outside the linebacker room or outside of Peyton Wilson and all them, Mark Robinson is looking like he could be a cut because we brought back Tyler Matakevich and he's a special team wizard and he's been a decent depth guy when he was here. So what's he going to bring to the table in year 3? Year 3, he's a smaller guy. It hasn't really benefited him, but we'll see what he can do.
It really depends on how he's going to execute on the field, if he can showcase any growth, still learning the linebacker position, being a former running back and all. Considering the fact, Cole Holcomb he doesn't look likely to be a part of the initial 53-man roster, and the Steelers may want to overload the linebacker position. They may want to boost it up. So if Robinson showcases at least enough for him to be a depth guy, a special teamer, I could see him possibly making the 53 initially.
Yeah.
And if Cole recovers properly, if his progression and his recovery is doing well, maybe we see him later on into the season, maybe mid to late season.
Perhaps.
And then maybe we could see Holcomb take that position. I don't know. I could be looking too far down into it, but Holcomb doesn't look like he's going to be playing whatsoever.
No, he's still on the PUP list, and until he's back, he'll yeah, you're right. A guy like Robinson or whoever could make the roster initially until whenever he's ready.
Yeah.
And concepts, correct. Deshaun Elliott did get hurt. He was limping a little bit. He came back onto the field. We'll see what minor bumps and bruises he'll have tomorrow and what his participation will be and what that could mean for Friday. He could play, but he got hurt. It looks minor, so hopefully he's all good to go because Elliott, I think, is going to have a very crucial year. Staying on with the defensive backs, since we're on with Elliott and Dante Jackson, we'll see what they could do on Friday. I'd imagine they're going to play a little bit. Beanie Bishop. In the first depth chart, which again has little meaning, but in the first depth chart, Beanie Bishop was named the starting nickel corner, the starting nickel back, with Joey Porter Jr. and Dante Jackson outside.
Yep.
That's interesting. Over a guy like Cam Sutton, who obviously is suspended for the first 8 games. And Sutton has been seeing a lot of safety time in camp.
I have heard that. I have read about that. I am intrigued by that.
Yes,
Considering
me too.
they like to, I remember last year when Patrick Peterson was here, and Tomlin was very notable about, Patrick Peterson having that Cam Sutton versatility.
Yeah, word for word, bar for bar.
Sutton was very versatile when he was first here, and it seems like now that he's back, the Steelers are going to want to utilize that versatility, whether that's outside, in the slot, or even at safety. Which, hey, I'm cool with that. Utilize Sutton and his versatility to the best of your ability. Make the secondary a little bit less predictable when it comes to going up against opposing offenses.
Yeah,
I think that'd be great.
And we got so many defensive backs we can incorporate. I'm very, very excited to see Beanie Bishop in real action. He's had himself some good plays. He's given up some good plays. So we'll see what he can do in a real game, man. He's a guy that the Steelers are really putting a lot of faith in and really hoping and trusting that he will be the starting nickel corner come week 1, because who else is going to be? Casey hasn't seen any reps there.
No.
Sutton suspended for the first 8 games. He's in a competition with Graylin Arnold, who's been getting some injuries. He's been getting second-team reps as a slot corner, so we'll see what he does in preseason, because he could make a serious case himself to be that starter. He's pushing himself for a roster spot. Corey Trice hasn't been seeing any nickel reps. As a matter of fact, Corey Trice has been seeing some dime package reps as the dime backer, which I think is good. I think that's great. I think that's a good role for him, because that kind of gets his feet wet with the defense. He'll be that special teams guy. He'll be very James Pierre-esque. But that type of build, that type of guy in the dime as that 6th guy kind of shadowing tight ends, I think is great. He's got the frame. He's got the physicality for it. As long as he can show up and stay healthy on the field, I think that's where he could really make a case to see time on the field, because the Steelers are going to run dime a lot.
Yeah, and Trice, I believe that he will be playing in this game, you know. So that's going to be something.
That's his first game, man.
That's going to be something to keep an eye out for, because Trice, had a lot of hype coming into training camp last year in his rookie season. From minicamp and OTAs, he was looking very fluid. He was looking very nice.
Yeah.
A very, very athletic type of player. But then first day of pads, he suffered that unfortunate season-ending injury. And now
a year later, look at where we're at.
He's recovering, and he's not practicing with a brace. He's practicing without a brace, so that's a good sign. I believe that Terrell Austin and the defensive group are trying to ease him back in.
Yeah.
But Trice being a part of the Texans game, him getting his first bit of action, I am intrigued to see how they utilize him, where he's placed, and how he can impact the game.
Yeah, not only him, but Ryan Watts, our 7th-round rookie. He's another guy that's going to be seeing some dime roll because of his build, his versatility, because of his experience at safety.
It suits him.
Yeah.
He fits that mold to a T.
The one thing the Steelers have added in the secondary is size. They have added size. I mean, look at Joey Porter Jr. What's his height? Like 6'2"?
Yeah, 6'2". Corey Trice, 6'3". Darius Rush, 6'3". Ryan Watts, 6'2". 6'3", whatever.
We got some
tall freaking people there.
Yeah, we don't got these midgets at corner no more, dude. We got these towers, which is good, man. And that's where guys like Trice and Rush and Watts are going to see time, which is in the slot and dime. Rush more so in the slot, because in the one game he really played, which was the Colts on Thursday night last year, he almost came away with a pick. He played the slot. Maybe he sees 2nd and 3rd team reps in the slot. I want to see where his role could be, because he's a guy that could make a push for a roster spot. I mean, you look at our corners, man. You look at Joey Porter Jr., Dante Jackson are the locks, and everyone else is kind of up in the air. Beanie Bishop might make the roster, most likely. Ryan Watts, Cam Sutton, who will be on the suspended list, so he won't make the 53 initially.
No.
He'll be on the suspended list, and then he'll be activated week 9, and then someone will get cut to make room for him. So you're looking at Joey Porter Jr., Dante Jackson, Beanie Bishop, Corey Trice,
Darius Rush,
potentially, Ryan Watts, You're looking at maybe Graylin Arnold. Anthony Averett, we'll see what he could do because he'll probably play a lot of the boundary. He'll play a lot of the outside.
Yeah.
So we'll see what that does there. Guys that are really, really pushing for a roster spot, more so a practice squad spot, is Kalen Barnes and Thomas Graham. Those are guys that will be seeing some late time in preseason that are really going to try to make a name for themselves to make a roster spot in the practice squad, most likely, because all the other spots are filled. So, yeah, you're looking at Joey Porter Jr., Dante Jackson, Beanie Bishop, Corey Trice, Ryan Watts, and maybe a sixth guy. Darius Rush, maybe.
Yeah.
And that's before Cam Sutton gets activated from the suspended list come week 9. So, yeah, some of these guys, man, like it's unproven depth, a lot of inexperience, but a lot of opportunity. And the Steelers trust their depth. They trust the young guys a lot to give them the opportunity. And I'm very excited to see how they use these guys in the defense and what they're going to bring to the table on the field, man, because we got some guys that are just – they got a nose for the ball. They are aggressive in the run defense. Kurgan Cole with a 50.
Kurgan.
Shout out to Kurgan. Holy shit.
Kurgan, my guy. What a freaking beast today,
Says,
bro.
damn, you guys know your stuff. Love it. Man, Cole, we love you, bro. Holy shit.
Dropped in a 50 bomber.
Wow. My goodness, man. Shout out to Cole, bro. That's awesome. Shout out to Kurgan Cole. Some bitch.
Swear
Wow.
jar.
But
It's appropriate one, though.
yeah. Wow.
Now I can't get a coin. We got to get a better swear jar.
Yeah, we
I
do.
swear.
That'll be an upgrade. Don't worry. That'll be an upgrade. What else? What else can we discuss, man? What else
How
can we
about
discuss?
special teams?
Yeah, speaking of upgrades.
Anybody hear about Cameron Johnston?
Dude,
How he's been punting in training camp?
he's been punting bombs. He's been punting bombs, bro.
Well, he's just bombing these footballs. He's punting these footballs deep. The hang time is just great time. I mean, like, and he's been consistent at it, too.
Yeah.
None of this inconsistent bull crap like we've had to deal with Jordan Berry or especially a Presley Harvin. No, like,
Yeah.
this man, he's been around the league for some time. Like, I believe almost 10 years. Former Eagles and Texans punter, and he's just a legit guy with a strong leg, a strong foot.
Yeah.
And he'll just pin these punts deep and accurately at the same time.
Yeah, he'll punt him inside the 20. He'll give the defense good field position to work with, unlike the previous punters we've had. So, yeah, I mean, that's going to be fun to watch as well. Special teams. But speaking of special teams, man, we're going to see a whole new kickoff return core. So we're going to see the new format. We'll go see who the Steelers put back there. Probably a Calvin Austin, probably a Jonathan Ward because Cordell Patterson is still out a little bit with an injury. So those are guys who are going to be getting an opportunity there where they could make a roster spot for that case itself. So we're going to be seeing a lot of guys tossed in that area, and we'll see what they do with the new rules, man. That's gonna be a fun watch. It's going to be a very interesting watch. Outside of that, I mean, that's pretty much the preview. That's pretty much the camp talk so far. I guess there's only one thing we can really talk about, which is the update.
It would be an upgrade.
The update.
If the Niners stop being stubborn sons of bitches.
Swear dry.
Brandon Aiyuk.
The update on Brandon Aiyuk, man.
Speaking of which, hold on, let me go through Twitter. Is there anything going on?
No.
Is there anything?
If there was, the chat would have blown up. I swear to God, the chat would have blown up.
You make a good point there.
No.
Yeah, there's nothing. It's
No,
dead.
man. I'm hoping one of these days we go live and then breaking news happens and then we got we just got awful timing. Anyway, the update on Brandon Aiyuk. The update is the Patriots are now out of it, which they were already out of it because Brandon Aiyuk never wanted to go there. They had a deal in place with the 49ers. The 49ers agreed to what they would get in return. Brandon Aiyuk did not agree to going to the Patriots because he doesn't want to play for the Patriots. He doesn't want to go to New England.
Yeah.
And the same thing will be with the Cleveland Browns. Why the hell would he want to go to Cleveland? Who wants to go to Cleveland? Fuck Cleveland. Swear jar. There's only one place he wants to go. We all know it. The 49ers know it. John Lynch knows it. He's not stupid. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're still trying to pressure and juice as much out of the Steelers as they can, man. They've been talking since March, but the talks have amplified the last 2-3 days.
Yeah. Schefter just yesterday afternoon, he tweeted this. Steelers and 49ers re-engage in conversations midday regarding Brandon Aiyuk per league sources. As of Monday night, the 49ers and the Steelers talks stalled, but there have been further conversations today in an ever-fluid situation that still involves other teams as well.
Yeah, and later that day, he reported that the Patriots have decided not to explore any further trade possibilities with the 49ers regarding their standout wide receiver, Brandon Aiyuk. Patriots are excited about their young receivers and want to focus on them. Good for them. That means that Brandon Aiyuk can only be a 49er or a Pittsburgh Steeler. It's one or the other. And the odds are he will be a Pittsburgh Steeler because they've had no talks. The 49ers and Aiyuk have had no talks or no progression on a contract extension.
There's no movement on that.
And I don't know if Aiyuk goes back to the Niners without an extension. He could just play on the 5th and still be under he's still under contract. So the 49ers could just be like, screw this. We're not trading you. You're going to play on the 5th or that's it. But could Aiyuk just continue to be pressuring the Niners? Could Aiyuk continue to just, I don't want to say hold out because it's not really a holdout, but I guess it is a holdout in this case.
Yeah, because he wants his pay. He wants his money. The actions that Aiyuk has done have indicated to me that if the Niners don't trade him, but they don't pay him, then Aiyuk's not playing on that 5th year. He's not going to do what T. Higgins did where, Higgins requested a trade, but he sucked it up. He's like, you know what? We couldn't come to terms to a deal, but I'll play on this 5th year. I'll do what I can to help you, and then I'll move on from there.
Yeah,
with what Aiyuk has done, I have no impressions that that's going to happen.
Yeah, because everything he's been doing, why would he just say, you know what? Let's just play on the 5th year. I doubt it.
He's gonna put all this effort and all this, frustration. Everything that's happened.
He's going to put that to the side and be like, you know what? I'm sorry. Let's play on the 5th, and then we'll talk next year.
All that. And everything that the Niners are going through. Everything that John Lynch is going through, several phone calls from teams, and especially the Steelers, that's just going to be thrown out the window because Aiyuk's like, you know what? I changed my mind. I'm going to play for you.
No, the only reason, I think the only way Aiyuk plays with the Niners is if John Lynch coughs up what Aiyuk wants. The Steelers have no problem doing that. In fact, there have been, I don't know what to believe anymore. There's been reports all over social media that are saying this and that. There's probably several insiders that know a lot that they're not allowed to say yet. All we have is what Schefter and Mike Garafolo and Ian Rappaport have been saying. That's all we can really trust. But it seems like the Steelers and the 49ers do have a agreement on a trade. It's a matter of if the 49ers can find a third team to trade with, to trade all of the picks they would get from the Steelers to get a receiver back.
If you're not down with that,
shout out to Corey Flores, man.
2 words for you.
Shout out to Corey Flores with a $9.99, bro. Says, what's good, my guys? Aiyuk is a Steeler. Hopefully. I hope so too, man. I hope so too.
Everyone cross everything you got.
Oh, I am. I'm crossing. I've been crossing everything I got, dude. Dude.
Yeah, because
I don't know how close they are. I really don't. No one really does, outside of the obvious. Aiyuk wants to play for the Steelers. Everyone knows that.
That's his preferred spot.
The Steelers have no problem paying him. Like, paying him is not an issue whatsoever from the Steelers.
That's why they've been calling since March.
And
the money is not the issue.
And what I'm hearing is the 49ers want 2 firsts from the Steelers. If that was the case, trade talks would have stopped a long time ago. The Steelers aren't fleshing out 2 firsts. The 49ers aren't getting 2 firsts. No. The final decision comes from Brandon Aiyuk where he wants to go. And it's the Steelers, but it's not going to be for 2 firsts.
No, that's too pricey.
It may be for a first because other reports are saying the Steelers don't want to trade a player in this trade. They don't want to trade anybody. The trade will not include the 49ers getting a player back, whether that is a starter, a receiver, whatever. And no, trading Pickens is not an option because you'd be in the same situation you're in right now with Pickens, where you have a number 1 receiver and no number 2. That makes no sense. Could they trade a guy like Daniels? Potentially. They drafted McCormick. They probably aren't going to get a deal done with Daniels anyway, so they could trade him. But the Steelers apparently don't want to trade a player in this trade for Aiyuk. So it would have to be a bunch of draft picks in which the 49ers could flip them for another receiver if they can find a third team that wants to trade a star receiver away.
Yeah.
That's kind of, I think that is what's really holding off right now is they're like, hey, Aiyuk wants to go there. We may or may not have an agreement, but let's go call other teams to see who's available and who we could trade for. So we can trade your picks, the Steelers picks, to trade for that guy so that all good is clear. Maybe that's the 49ers holdup right now, is that. I don't know. No one truly does. It's all speculation. It's all just personal opinion right now. But it's looking very likely that he's going to get traded, and there's only one team he's going to get traded to, and that is the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's not going to the Patriots because they backed out. He's not going to the Commanders because the Mariners aren't even trying. And the Browns are not an option. It's the Steelers or nobody. And like you mentioned, I don't see Aiyuk just saying, fuck all this. I'll play on the 5th year.
After everything, no, that I cannot see that happen. I'd be shocked if Aiyuk were just to show up and be like, listen, Lynch, like, I'll play for you.
I just don't see it.
Like, I'm sorry, I'll play for you. I don't see that. The only way Aiyuk plays for the Niners is if Lynch gives him exactly what Aiyuk wants, but Lynch has not budged about that one bit, just like he's not budging about what he wants as far as his price for trade.
Yeah.
High capital, or he wants a player in return, or probably a receiver to replace Aiyuk, although you drafted Ricky Parasol in the first round. You already got 3 wide receivers.
Right.
I don't know. It's just a crazy situation for all parties involved.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to believe because there's several reports coming from like Steelers insiders or wherever where they're saying they don't have a verbal agreement, they're not close, or they won't trade players, or there's others saying they have a verbal agreement. I don't know what to believe, okay? It's just
I'm not believing anything unless Schefter or even Rappaport reports it.
And what they've been saying on NFL Network and whatever is it's close. What they're saying is the Steelers are his top landing spot. The Steelers are probably the team that will land him. It's just a matter of when. What I want to know is when will all this end? Because I can't take this no more. I can't take the speculation. I can't take the wonder. I can't take the impatience. It's got to happen.
The deal could happen tonight. The deal could happen tomorrow. The deal could happen
next week. I don't know. The Steelers might be waiting until Friday. I don't know. I don't know. If Aiyuk was going to go to the Patriots or Browns, he would have by now. But he doesn't want to go there. We all know where he wants to go. We'll find out when. But I do have a great feeling that he is a Steeler, just not officially yet. I don't know, guys. But I just can't take it no more. It almost feels like an inevitability. It's not here yet. And it's really agitating me, to be real with you. So
I said it when we opened the stream. I'm gonna say it again. I'm just letting this play out. Yeah. I have no problem like hearing all this back and forth and all these like conflicting reports. I mean, like, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But me personally, for based off my experience, I'm just letting this play out. I'm just sitting back and just waiting to see what happens.
Yeah.
If the trade happens, great, fantastic. For the right price, especially, fantastic. If it doesn't happen, well, that's a Niners problem.
Well, what is the right price? Because if they're not trading a player, which they were going to get from the Patriots or the Browns, what are the Steelers going to have to trade? It's going to be a ton of capital.
It could be. I don't know if they want to give up a first-round pick. They may be willing to do so.
Unless they
really could be willing to do so.
Unless they really back end the deal where it's second round pick this year, second round pick the year after that, second, third round pick this year, second, third round pick the year after that. I don't know. Will 49ers take anything less than a first? Lord knows, dude. Lord knows. But what I keep going back to is it's Aiyuk's ultimate decision. And if Aiyuk is not coming back on the 5th year and John Lynch will not cough up the bag for Aiyuk, the 49ers, what are they going to do? They're going to let him sit out. They're going to let his contract run out, and they're going to let him hit free agency, and then they're going to get nothing out of him? Could the 49ers just want to escape all this and just take whatever they can? Which ultimately might be less than what they want.
And listen, whatever their asking price is, which is obviously high, I get that they're not budging about that. I can respect that. I can respect John Lynch's approach on that.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's got to look at all possibilities, like you stated. He decides not to trade him, but he doesn't want to cough up the money for Aiyuk, and then Aiyuk just doesn't decide to play on the 5th-year option, and then he just walks out,
Yeah.
becomes a free agent next year. I mean, Niners just get nothing in return. I mean,
Yeah, why would they do that?
he's better off just, getting the best offer. It may not be the offer he wants. It may not be his offer, but whatever offer that the Steelers are throwing out there, then he may just have to accept it.
Yeah.
As stubborn as he may be about it, he may just have to accept it and just be like, fuck it. Like, he's probably sick and tired of this situation.
Well, it's because he doesn't want to handicap his team. Ricky Pearsall is still hurt. Debo's getting older. CMC is great, but they don't really have a number one if they don't have Aiyuk. They're in win-now mode with Brock Purdy and a rookie contract with his contract coming up, right? So
And they're going to have to pay him.
And Trent Williams won't be with them that long. He'll be retiring soon.
Well, dude, he's also holding out apparently too. He wants money.
So there you go. So
you got to pick and choose, Lynch. You really have to weigh your options.
Well, he wants a superstar back if he's getting rid of Aiyuk, because they're in win now mode. They should have been one probably, and their window's closing with Purdy's contract coming up. So if they trade Aiyuk, they're gonna want another guy back, a superstar back. They just have to find a team that's comfortable with trading away that superstar. That could be anybody. That could be anywhere. That's the 49ers' job to search. And that's the 49ers' job to fucking find so we can have Aiyuk once and for all.
Well, let me ask you. Say they get rid of, trade away Aiyuk, and they want a superstar player in return. Is a team going to be willing to give that superstar up to a team like the Niners, who are still going to be in Super Bowl contention?
Well, you know what? Now I'm interested. Because whatever capital we would cough up, they would trade that as well as some of their own potentially.
Yeah.
I would imagine 49ers still have a decent amount of capital. I'm going to search up their capital because I'm very interested to see what their future picks are. So in 2025, they have a first-round pick, a second-round pick, 2 third-rounders, one of them being a comp, a 4th, a 6th, and a 7th. So they have that. In 2016, they have a 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Yeah, the normal picks.
So they could cough up some of their own if they really had to. But it wouldn't be that big of a blow because they would be trading what the Steelers trade as well.
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
And that could be, at most, maybe a 2nd-round pick. Maybe they want to throw a third for a 3rd-round pick, a couple draft classes down the road, maybe a 5th-rounder just for the hell of it.
yeah.
I don't know. It could be something like that.
This needs to end so we can have him and we can make a significant push. Seriously. It's almost an inevitability at this point. It just needs to actually happen. I need that tweet like I need air. Breaking news, 49ers finalize a trade with the Pittsburgh Steelers that will send star wide receiver Brandon Aiyuk to the Steel City. I need that like I need air.
By the way,
I need that like Mr. Krabs needs fucking money. I need that like Matt Canada needs a jet sweep.
Ari Mirov tonight on Twitter.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, the 49ers are working on finalizing a deal with former Lions starting safety Tracy Walker.
That scared the shit out of me.
When you put 49ers are working on finalizing a deal,
That scared me.
I mean, like, everyone's going to assume, oh my God, Brandon, really?
My heart dropped. When I read that on Twitter or X. Oh, man. Anything else you want to get into? Because it's 1:45, and it's getting late. I know we still got like 100 plus people in here. Thank you guys for being here late, man.
Appreciate the support, guys.
Seriously, you guys are incredible. Shout out to all you guys, the new members tonight, the super chats, the support, the engagement, the sponsorship tonight, obviously. Like, you guys are incredible. And the season is just starting, guys. The season is just starting. We haven't even gotten to watch a football game yet. That's technically tomorrow.
Yeah, it's 12:46 over here on Eastern Standard Time. So, yeah, you're technically right.
This stream 24/7 till Aiyuk signs. We'll be here. We'll be here. We'll be
This
here
will
the
be
next
the
week.
72-hour long live stream. Could take that long. 72 hours.
Brandon Aiyuk watch until he gets traded, and we're here till September next year.
By that point, he ain't getting traded. By March, he'll be a free agent.
By March, man, he'll be a Steeler, and we don't even have to trade anything.
Maybe that's the case. Maybe we just have to be a little bit more patient about it. Maybe that ends up happening. I don't know.
Could we wait one more year for Aiyuk? I don't know, Aiyuk wants the money now.
He still wants the money. Like,
Aiyuk wants
he
the
will
money
not
now.
budge about that.
Down with that.
Wow.
We've got 2 words for you.
Shout out to Kurgan Cole with another 50. You are insane, my brother.
Kurgan with back-to-back $50 super chats, man, totaling $100.
Yinzers, let's fucking go. Cheers. I got this.
I got
this.
I got some liquid death right here. Cheers, bro.
I'll have something
It's
different
gonna be
for
one hell
Friday.
of a
You can
toast if
count on
Aiyuk
that.
does become a Steeler. Cheers to football, man. Football's back, bro.
Technically tomorrow,
Football
man.
is back.
Technically tomorrow, football will be back. Watt is not joining the Texans. No, TJ Watt is not going anywhere. I cannot picture that man with his name on the back of another jersey, and he definitely is not getting traded. You got to be out of your mind. The Steelers are trying to better this football team. They're trying to make a push to
That'd be
be
the worst
contenders.
thing. That could be the worst thing that could happen in Steelers history.
You get my
And I'm saying like they passed out on Dan Marino. They passed on that guy.
You get my excitement up so much for Aiyuk just to trade Watt. That'll be the most hated trade in Steelers history after being the most wanted. Wow.
Yeah, you're not doing that.
Wow. Shout out to Papa J. Big Papa Pump. Big Papa J. Subscribe to SteelTwins. Let's ride, brother. Aiyuk a clown, you can have him. Dude, Mike Tomlin's dealt with so many clowns, bro. He'll be all right. He'll be all right. Him and Pickens will be fucking nasty, man. Especially if Fields can get everything together. I want to say this, though. I want to say this real quick. I know the trade isn't official. I'll say this right here. Aiyuk, I don't think makes the Steelers contenders this year because, first of all, we have to win a playoff game first. We haven't done that.
Does Aiyuk help
Yeah?
favor the Steelers and getting past the wild card?
Absolutely.
Does Aiyuk help the Steelers in pushing past, further into the playoffs? Yes.
Well, no matter what, I don't see the Steelers winning a Super Bowl this year. I know
Neither did I.
I know the ultimate goal is that is the standard. Let's not forget that. But
It's hard to jump the gun on that when the Steelers haven't won a playoff game in 8 years.
no, but if you want to get yourself closer, if you want to make a legitimate push, that's what you do. You have to make trades like that.
Especially in a conference like the AFC,
Dude.
like you like
In a division,
you
like
gotta
AFC
you
North.
gotta make a statement like hey bro, especially the Chiefs who are running the show here back to back, looking to make
Dude.
a triple.
Dude.
Super Bowl?
And you got an MVP in Mahomes in the conference. You got an MVP and
Lamar
Jackson in the division. You got a potential MVP and Burrow in the division. You need to make a trade like this to be a legitimate threat, not just for the division, but for the conference, and make yourself a contender. Omar Khan has sat back and watched Kevin Colbert not do the things that has been necessary in recent years, which is why Omar Khan has been fixing his errors for the last 2 years now. He sat back and watched all these teams, like the Chiefs, like the Bengals, like the Eagles, like the Lions, make all the right moves, which has been banking on a young quarterback, banking on a very young quarterback, fixing the line, increasing the offensive receiving core, right? Stacking the defense. He has been watching these teams do all the right while Colbert and company were doing the wrong.
They just sat on their hands and just settled with mediocrity.
Like Omar Khan sat in that front office watching these teams do all that, and now he is in the driver's seat and he's trying to do exactly that to make us part of that elite group. This is a trade that you make to do it.
It's like he stated after he traded up for Broderick. He don't know if he would call himself aggressive, but he's just trying to win a Super Bowl.
No, he's aggressive. You gotta be aggressive nowadays, man.
Was
The
he not,
Chiefs
was,
were-
he, was he not aggressive in acquiring Patrick Green? Was he not aggressive in acquiring Justin Fields?
Was he not aggressive in trading up for Broderick?
Was he not aggressive, like, just in general?
Dude, the Chiefs were aggressive in trading up for Patrick Mahomes. The Dolphins were aggressive for trading for Tyreek Hill. What's the name? The Bengals, they were aggressive at obtaining what they have now, especially in the offensive line. They spent big money on the line.
Yeah, they did.
The Chiefs did the same thing after probably the worst offensive line play in Super Bowl history. The Bengals did a lot of losing to get Burrow and Chase and Higgins, but the Steelers don't do that.
No.
The Steelers don't do that. But they were aggressive in building the line and that defense. They went out and got some massive free agents, like a Trey Hendrickson, right? Like they had Chidobe Awuzie a couple years back.
Yeah, they did.
You know, they made some really aggressive moves when they had to build core pieces for that defense. Now Khan is doing exactly that. He's bringing that to the table. He's doing un-Steeler things, which is why he has been pressing John Lynch's phone for the past however many months now.
He has concept. How could we forget? Getting a second for
If you're
Claypool.
not down with
Yes.
that,
Wow. Kurgan Colbert at
we've
20.
got 2 words for
Con
you.
artist Omar killing it.
Kurgan, you're freaking killing it, bro.
Bro, shout out to Kurgan. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to King Khan. In fact, I got the Omar Khan, King Khan emote in the chat, man.
He's always working them phones, dude. He's never not working.
I need Aiyuk like Tomlin needs a playoff win. Man, JPEG, you couldn't be 100% more factual. Wow. And yeah, Concepts, you're right. We got a second for Claypool. Absolutely. That's aggressive. And what did it get us? It got us a number one corner.
Not just that. Not just. He managed to get a 3rd-round pick out of Kenny Pickett.
For a linebacker that should have been a 1st-round pick. And I'm sorry, even if he is
a third for Kenny Pickett, who, by the way, may not even be the Eagles' backup quarterback.
Yeah, and you're talking a linebacker who and many teams' eyes is a 1-contract player, but I'm taking a 1-contract player in the 3rd round that could be a stud over probably the worst quarterback I've ever seen in my life. That's a win trade right there. I don't think Payton Wilson will be a 1-contract player, but even if he is, it's still worth it. Especially if we get to our ultimate goal. So we'll see. Khan got a sminker, right? It was Colbert Colbert was part of that room. Khan was obviously because, Khan was in the front office. He was under Colbert's wing.
It was one of the rare instances where Colbert was like, "Fine, we'll do it. I'll be aggressive."
What was his name? I'm gonna have to search it now. I'll find it in a minute. Khan absolutely had input in that. But it was another guy. It wasn't, what was his name? He was in the front office. It was, let me see if I can, Brandon Hunt. He was our pro scouting coordinator. Brandon Hunt made a significant push for that as well.
Yeah.
And of course, Khan was the vice president of football and business. So, yeah, he had a big effect in that as well.
Yep.
So, because he literally worked right underneath Colbert. So, yeah, I mean, he had say in that too. So, I mean, everyone there had a big play in that. So, yeah. I'm not trying to make this a negative Kevin Colbert type thing. It's just he made a lot of dumb moves.
He set the team back. Like it's not even funny.
Yeah. He made a lot of great moves, but his last couple look at the last couple draft classes and tell me Kevin Colbert wasn't dog shit. I'm sorry. Love him. I thank him for everything. He got us championships. He got us double-digit Hall of Famers, right? A lot of great memories, but, I mean, you can't excuse what he did.
No, his later years was so bad.
Yeah.
2019 class so bad. 2020 outside trade for Mika.
That's why we're so happy with Khan that we are in position to do this. We were never in position to do this with the previous administration. I fucking love Omar Khan, man. I love that man. That's a beautiful, bald bastard. Sorry.
I want to turn back the clock to, I think it was the 2014 all season. Who remembers when Eric Weddle was a free agent?
Yep.
Several people were saying, Steelers have high interest in acquiring Eric Weddle. Eric Weddle's top landing spot is the Steelers and whatnot, right? Like, everybody was linking Eric Weddle to the Steelers. You know what happened? The Steelers not once offered a contract to Eric Weddle. You know what happened? Eric Weddle ended up being a fucking Raven.
Yeah, spread dry.
Knowing our secondary, our safety position after Troy retired was fucking terrible. It was dog shit.
And at that point,
we relied on fucking Shamarko Thomas, Robert Golden, Mike Mitchell.
I know. And then, because at that point, we were also pushing for a Super Bowl because we had the Killer Bees in their prime. So to improve the defense, you didn't do it.
They refused to.
No, like he didn't do it often. Like he had himself some good draft classes. He had himself some good free agent moves and some trades, right? You can't like just bury that underneath the bad.
No, I am not taking that away from Colbert once. I'm very thankful of what Colbert did to get the Steelers to the 2 Super Bowls in 2000.
This is the example that you're trying to make here is we didn't do that in the previous administration. Granted, that was almost 10 years ago. But now we're in position to get one of the best wide receivers in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
To improve what has been a dreadful offense for years, man. And why wouldn't you want to go get a guy like that?
If you're not
Kerrigan!
down with that, we've got 2 words
Swear jar
for
funding.
you.
I'm going to put 20 in the swear jar, bro. $20 added to the swear jar just because of that. Wow. You guys are incredible. What a night. What a stream, man. What a stream. Con artist sounds tacky and cocky. Watch what you wish for. No, he doesn't. He's confident.
He's aggressive.
He's aggressive.
That's all he is.
Oh. And I'm not trying to let what he's been doing overwhelm me because we never get it. It's just what's necessary. It is the formula to win in the NFL nowadays. It's just a matter of execution on the field from the players and especially the coaching.
Yeah.
Tomlin. The season hasn't even started yet. It technically starts tomorrow, Friday night. Heinz Field, Steelers versus Texans. I'm excited, man. Very excited.
Hell yeah, brother.
Signed Wash Morgan Burnett was Colbert's big splash. Oh, God. Yeah, that.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
What do you guys think the holdup is? Nick, I think the holdup is that the 49ers want to find a third team that they can trade all the picks that they would get from the Steelers so they could trade for a receiver. If they're going to trade away a star receiver, they want a star receiver in return. They got to find a team suitable that is willing to trade a star receiver to the Niners. That's the holdup. I do firmly believe that's the holdup. I don't know, man. It might be another week until they find that. Lord knows when they started searching. Lord knows when they started making calls about that. Probably today. So, with that being said, man, I think that's going to close it out. I think that's going to end it here.
We're nearing 1 o'clock.
Wow.
Yeah.
1 o'clock and I'm wide awake. And I got to get up for work in 6 hours.
I got to get a workout in the morning.
There you go.
I got to get some other errands done. But, hey, it was fun going live here, talking about the upcoming Texans preseason game and more of the Brandon Aiyuk debacle situation and whatnot. You know, it's always fun getting on here and chatting about, you know, the topics on hand and just hanging out with you guys. It's always a blast.
Yeah, it is. It's always great, and we appreciate you guys for joining us late tonight. And as you guys know, we'll be live Friday night for the Steelers versus Texans game. Live reactions, live watch party for the first game back in months. I cannot wait. Dude. I am just itching with excitement. I really am.
Yep.
It's very, 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 very exciting, man. Before we get on out here, I do want to give one more quick shout out, one more quick thank you to BetUS for sponsoring and powering today's podcast episode. Shout out to them, man, for powering today's podcast episode. One more quick shout out to them. If you guys are looking for a new sports book this upcoming season, BetUS is the answer. BetUS is a sports book and casino for you guys. Like I said, fastest payouts in the industry, fast and easy deposit and withdrawal process, live wagering on all major games, 24/7 personalized service, 365 days a year. You guys can check out our BetUS link in the description as well as pinned at the top of the comment section and the live chat currently. And they are offering 125% sign-up bonus for your first 3 deposits up to $2,000, man.
$2,000.
I would take advantage of that. I've already taken advantage of that. I think you guys should take advantage of that as well, man. And we wagered earlier on TJ Watt getting the most sacks for next season because I do firmly believe that. I placed 20 on it. I could win 90. We'll find out come January. Now this one is regular season touchdown leaders. Regular season touchdown leaders. So who do you guys think will lead the NFL season in touchdowns? It could be anyone. It could be Aiyuk. It could be Pickens.
I don't know how crazy of a passing offense we're going to have being a run-first team, but who do you think is going to lead the NFL regular season in receiving touchdowns? Chat, I want your guys' opinion because I'm about to place a wager. I don't know, so I need your guys' personal opinion. Who do you think will be the regular season receiving touchdowns leader? Could it be Tyreek? Could it be CeeDee? Could it be Jamar? Could it be Jefferson? Could it be Brown, AJ, or Amon-Ra? Could it be Mike Evans? Maybe Baker kills it. You know? Could it be DK if he doesn't throw helmets at his teammates anymore? He threw a helmet at his teammate during practice.
This is new information to me. Okay.
Yeah. So,
All right.
who do you guys think is going to win who do you guys think is going to lead the regular season in touchdowns, man? Personally, I mean, I want to put Pickens just because, you know, where's he at? Where's Pickens? Pickens is...
What are his odds? Yeah.
Pickens' odds are... Where's he at? Hold on, let me find him. I know he's up here. George Pickens' odds is 7,000. Wow. I'm going to put $1 on that. Win $70. Nah. Actually, I'm not going to do that.
That's $1.
That's $1. I know. No. I don't know, man. What do you guys think? Claypool would Claypool.
Yeah, well, first he's got to prove himself against Buffalo.
Nah, not Claypool.
No, man. Hey, no.
See, I don't know if I want to put Jefferson because of the new quarterback. I just don't know. Jefferson's a dog, but like quarterback play does like play a role. I'm just gonna go Tyreek. Dude.
Always bet on Tyreek.
I'm gonna go Tyreek.
Number 1 player in the NFL.
And Mike McDaniel's scheme, I always go with Tyreek. I'll put 10 on that. Place my bet. If you guys want to follow this one as well, if you guys want to go with CeeDee, if you guys want to go with Jamar, anyone else, man. If you guys want to go for Pickens, go for it, dude. I highly encourage you guys. Again, check out the link in the description below. Our special link is also pinned at the top of the comment section in the live chat. Shout out to BetUS for powering today's podcast episode. Go check them out. Just please gamble responsibly. And thanks to them, man. We're getting out of here. Kelsey? I didn't think of that.
Man, he getting up there in age.
So?
What do you mean so?
Who's their number one?
Somebody that's running away from the police.
So, Rashee Rice.
Yeah.
Is, what's his name? You know, I'm not going to go there. That's an unfortunate situation. Anyway, Twins, did you guys hear the story with the Appalachian State lineman swinging his own teammate's helmet at him? I didn't see that one, but I saw the one about Tyreek. Well, not Tyreek. DK Metcalf. That's the one I saw.
I didn't even hear about both of them until you mentioned DK.
So, but yeah, that's the one I saw.
Jeez, man, he's having a moment.
Yeah, it was actually caught on like NFL Network too. It was hilarious.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you gotta check it out. Yeah, we're getting out of here, guys. Appreciate you guys for joining us live late tonight while we discussed a lot. And with that being said, man, we'll be live technically tomorrow. Technically tomorrow, Friday.
Say Friday.
We'll be live Friday night for the Steelers versus Texans live stream, live reactions watch party for the Week 1 preseason opener, the Steelers preseason opener. You guys can just like up the stream, share it if you guys want to. It's already scheduled up. See you guys then, man. So next time we see yins, we will be watching Steelers football.
Let's hope we get a dub.
2 more sleeps.
Though it don't really matter. Preseason dubs don't really matter.
Well, it matters if you place a bet with BetUS.
Of course.
So again, shout out to them, man. We're getting out of here. You guys enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll see yins Friday. Here we go, Steelers, man.
And as always, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later.
Peace! Unless, of course, we trade for Brandon Aiyuk, then we'll see you guys later tonight. All right, anyway. We're getting out of here, man.
You're telling me that you're going to wake my ass up like
fucking right.
4 o'clock. And how would you even know about that? You got an alarm for that notification?
No.
I'm about to say, no way.
It's not happening midnight, but...
Yeah, Omar Khan's probably fast asleep right now. Plus the time differences, you know. West Coast time is
What do you mean? Their time difference, it's like 10 o'clock over there. It's never too late. Never too late.
Let's ride.